Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. We would not be where we are without the incredible support of John and the team. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades, and welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is Talking Sense with Andy the Blade. Where do we start, really? I know a lot of people have been really keen to hear what my dad's got to say on our, not only our window, because I think there's certainly some positives to be had, but certainly our start under Ruben Selles, under new ownership, essentially, and their new direction. So without any further ado, let's get him on straight away. It's the channel MVP, my dad, Andy the Blade.
He's a man with a plan, sharp as steel. Andy the Blade got the knowledge appeal. In the world of blades, he's the king we trust. Jimmy's dad on the mic, kicking up the dust. ATV, he's a channel MVP. Sharp wit, sharp mind, that's the key. Blades Ramble, bringing truth to the game. Andy the Blade, remember the name.
Father, how is it going? Welcome back to the channel. Are you okay?
I'm fine, thanks, James. How are you?
I'm very well. So, plenty to talk about, Dad. I don't know where you want to start. First of all, something I haven't actually asked you. I don't even know if I've asked you privately, because we haven't spoken that much, because we've both been in and out.
You've been on holiday all the time.
My question to you was, how was Alicante?
All right, yeah, that was good. That was good as well. Yeah, it's always good to see my favourite band, James.
Yes,
so,
it is.
Yeah, we had a great time.
It is. Oh, good. Yeah. I know. I think I spoke to you very briefly about it, but obviously we didn't have a lot of time at the night. So, yes, great to have you back on, Dad. Back by popular demand, the channel MVP. Look, let's. I know. I just want to.
How weird is that?
I want to get straight into it and ask your opinions, really, on Ruben Selles, first and foremost.
I think I just want to say first, what a great time to be a Blade. Isn't it brilliant how well we're doing? I love these seasons. It cheers me up no end. What a great time.
Do you know what I will say? The thing is,
you Blades.
What I will say is, I do think they've done a good job of sort of piquing our interest again and getting us excited when things have. Do you know, in terms of when everything's been going really poorly, Auntie, obviously on the field, but they saved the Tanganga announcement for just before the game, just so that we'd get a bit of a spike. They didn't give Sayers a hard time. But the transfer window, once again, despite us having 5 losses on the spin, and we'll come on to transfer window more specifically, but that now has boosted us all again, I think. Certainly the majority of Blades that you're seeing, it's a case of, right, there's no excuses now for the manager because he's got the tools that he needs. And I think the fans are at least, certainly the people that we speak to, are at least excited at the prospect of where this squad could go, because the owners have certainly backed the manager. It's just, what are your thoughts before we get on to the transfers in general? I mean, I were asking blunt questions on 90 after 90 and stuff like that about, are you Sayers in, Sayers out? Have you got a replacement, anything like this? But what is your general feel of the season so far, Dad? I know it's been a disaster, but in your words.
Like, there's been a disaster. Volcanoes erupted. How do you feel about that?
But in terms, all right, poorly phrased question.
I've loved the start at season.
Poorly phrased question. Poorly phrased question. Do you see any shoots of optimism at the moment under this
Right.
manager?
No, not with Selles. I mean, I hate the fact that we're looking at sacking a manager after so much time, because I don't want to be one of them clubs like a Watford or people like that who just change willy-nilly and what have you. But I have seen nothing at all since the start of the season that shows that anybody, that he knows what he's doing, or that any of the players want to play for him, don't know where to play the players. We've got some good players. This is what worries me slightly, because we've bought some good players now.
Yeah, we have.
But we already had some good players. And all those players, none of those players were playing for him. There's hardly anybody who's had a decent start to the season. You can't say, oh, well, you know, we've had a fairly poor start, but Burrows is playing well, or, you know, Callum Ware's playing well, because nobody's playing well. Nobody's playing for him. If Amer, this is a bone of contention, if Amer wasn't Gus Amer, he should have been dropped. He's been that poor this season. I think he's been rubbish.
But
he's Gus Amer, so we all know what he can do. But I just think he's rubbish. But to get back to your question, Selles, we're not going to sack him. I can't see us sacking him for another 2 or 3 games. But that's then going to be 7 or 8 games down the line, and if it's 8 games, that's 24 points that we've already lost.
I think that's ridiculously harsh on Gus, to be honest. I know he's not being the Gus Amer.
What does that sign say there? Talking sense with Andy the Blade.
Listen, it's a big call, and I think a lot of people are afraid to say it, even if they might think it. But I'm going to push back on it a little bit, because I don't think he's played to his best. I'm not saying he has. A lot of us were calling for him to play in the 8, us included. I know we prefer him as a 10. But we were saying get him central. It's not worked. That's not worked at all. He hasn't got the positional discipline to play in the 8. Unless there's 2 6ers with him, I don't think there's any chance that he can do that. And not only that, you can't blame Hamer for the poor. I know you're not, but everybody's played poorly to a man, other than Tanganga.
I'm just bringing Hamer up as an example, really, in the fact that everybody has been poor. But they also, just regarding yes, I'm Selles out. I'm afraid I don't want to be. He seems like a really nice bloke. You know, he's showed his courage going over to the fans. I'm not sure whether that was a good thing or not, but he showed his courage. But I just don't think he's got a clue. He's not shown anything with this season with United. He's not really shown anything in his previous CV. Southampton, Reading and Hull. I mean, he's not shown anything that he can deal with a promotion chasing side like we're hoping to be. So, and the players just look disinterested. They look disinterested in the case of some of them, like Amer, or that his mind's on other things, or they look lost. You know, and these are players who are good players. And this is what slightly worries me with all these other good players that have come in now, Tangangas and everybody else who's come in this window. They might be good enough now to win games. Obviously, we want them to win games, but that will disguise the fact then that Selles is still a crap manager. You know what I mean? If we scrape a 1-0 win at Ipswich, which would be brilliant, but then everybody's saying, oh, Selles, give him some more time. But it might be not to do with him, because we've just got such a good team now.
But no, we're in this weird situation where I'm even seeing some blades saying they hope we get beat at Ipswich.
No, I can never want
you can never want that. You can't.
To be honest, I have, I've watched United a long time. And how United are playing now, it just takes me back years to some of the games I used to watch. And I have been in positions where I've been in the ground where most of the ground have been wanting us to get beat just to get rid of a manager. But that's usually, I would never want United to get beat. But if we were mid-table doing nothing and playing crap, you'd think, please don't just sneak a win here, because we're not going to get rid of the manager. So you can see it in those circumstances where it's not going to harm us. But we've got to want us to win now. We've got to. Of
course, we have. We all want him to be a success. Just because we're not believing in what he's doing at the minute doesn't mean he can't. It's very unlikely, but it doesn't mean he can't turn it around. It's so. I mean, I'm waiting for
Eki Outsal to change the name, though. To Selles Outsal, because it's a little bit similar to how she used to go. How she used to go on when Eki Bottom were in charge. because she says we've got a really good team here and we're winning games. But her point was that we're winning them in spite of him, bottom, not because of him. And so, I mean, it turned out she had a point in the end.
We're not even doing that now with Selles, are we? Selles, it got a really good side and can't get a shot on target most games. So obviously people who've watched the channel for a while know that you've got a lot of experience in the game. When you are looking at the team here, and there's a lot of reports, contrary to what you might think, just watching them, a lot of the noises coming out of United are that the players like Ruben Selles, but you wouldn't believe that if you saw it on the field. So
they're going to say that, are they?
No, but what's the disconnect, Dad, between these are really good players? Do they just not understand? In your opinion, do they just not understand the system? Do they not agree with what he's asking him to do, or can they just not do it because he's asking him to do different jobs? What is the disconnect that you're seeing between these players who we've seen are quality players at this level, and what's not happening on the field?
It doesn't need a lot, Jim, to make you go when you're playing at top level, Championship football or Premiership football. It don't need a big drop off to make you a poorer player than what you were. You've got to be 100% and sort of like at it all the time. And it only needs for them to be, I can't understand, what he's wanting me to do here. I can't work out how he's wanting me to press. I don't know how I was expecting me to, Peck will be saying, I don't know how I was expecting me to cover
Peck's the one. Peck's the one for me that jumps out at you straight. There's a few, but Peck's the one that jumps out. We saw how well he played when he came in and slotted in beautifully for Arblaster last season as an 8 or a box-to-box midfielder. He's now been asked to do a similar role, or it appears as though that's what he's been asked to do in terms of what Vinny Souza were doing, but on his own. And he's been exposed. And it doesn't look half the player playing this way. I don't blame City. I blame the way he's been asked to play, personally, or what it appears as though he's been asked to play.
He were already looking as though he needed a break, to me, even before this change of position, really. He's only a young lad. He only came in last year, and you weren't expecting to play all the time.
Yeah.
And, I just think that he's going to be a good player, but you can't have him playing week in, week out without any sort of breaks. And I think he's not playing to his full capacity now. I think he needs a break, which he looks as though he might get one now for a bit. And then hopefully he'll come back really refreshed, and he'll look $1 million, and he's had a season's worth of championship playing under his belt.
It's got a few comments that came in before it had synced up with the chat, so I'm just going to get them read out before we jump onto those that can appear on screen. Mr. V says, evening, Jimmy and Andy. I think we all agree that it was a successful transfer window with a much stronger squad. We'll come on to that, Mr. V. I think Tanganga should be wearing the captain's armband over Gus and me. Up the blades, up the ramble. Rob Kerr says, what happened to Marsh, Curtis, Hampson? They've not gone anywhere from what I understand, Rob.
They'll have to do, though.
National League loans are all that's available now. That's the only problem.
They'll have to do something because with two bigger squads, you can only got 25 in this squad.
So it's either that or they play with under 21s for next 4 months.
In our first team squad, which if you include like Curtis and Marsh and all them, you're up to about 28.
Okay, Brett's asking about, do you think with all the centre halves we'll change formation, and we'll come on to that. Okay. The important question is, have you recorded? No, I'm not talking about that. Dave Morwood says,
have I recorded what? Recorded what?
My theme tune. They're all trying to get me to have my own theme tune.
All right, yeah.
No. He's back. Andy the Blade says, Dave Morwood, roll out the red carpet, play the fanfare, mon chapeau, mes amis.
Mon chapeau!
Like and subscribe, hit the like and hype. I found out how to do it. Come on the Platts, joining the party, people. Thank you, mate. Shizy says, just listened to a Wendy channel and an ITK was claiming they're after Brownhill. I bet they were. I bet they were. Ray says, good evening, Jimmy and Andy. I might get pelters for this, but would take Eki back rather than keep Sayers. Chris won't come back, but Eki would sort us out. Thoughts, guys? Jack's saying that for the level of club we are and what we're aiming for, apart from a couple, if they stay fit, only a couple improvers. Okay, so this is the majority of it. And Peak asks the same question, sort of similar to what Ray was saying. Evening, Jimmy and Andy. What's Andy's first choice for manager in why, including Wilder? Up the blades, up the ramble, like and subscribe. I've been asking people not to include Wilder in that. Let me check where we're nearly at the end of these that can't be read on screen because they were said before we synced it up. John says, all the new players, if we don't play any better at Ipswich, he should vacate the manager's chair. No chance of that. We are walking away from a payout. Just want to see a team performance, not the dross that's been served up so far. Lewis says, Mon chapeau, Andy. Opinions from you both, gents, please. Do you think the bulk of our new acquisitions are Ruben signings off from the hierarchy? Again, we'll come on to that, pal. Remember to hit the like and subscribe. And Phil says, hello, Jimmy. Hope you're well. There's only one way to find out if this window's been a success, and that is the team performing and getting some points. The next few games are vital for Ruben. So we'll move on to the transfer window very shortly, Dad, but... You are unfortunate, reluctantly, because we never like to say it after 5 games, but you think it's time for a change.
I do, but you know, you've got to be careful what you wish for, because you know you got to be careful who you're going to bring in.
That's the problem, isn't it? Who's
your choice? Like a lot of anybody's, wouldn't be Wilder's never going to come back again. I can't see that in a million years. I think that ship's sailed.
Why do you crush your son's dreams right in front of my face? Why would you do that?
Well, you know I would love Wilder to come back kidding. For many reasons.
This is why we're not. I know for many reasons. I know, but this is why we're not including him in the. I know Dave said to include him. You're obviously excluding him yourself, even though you could pick him, because we don't think it's going to happen. So it's not a realistic proposition, is it?
I don't even. I think even not thinking it's going to happen, I just think it's an impossibility that he would come back again. Why would he come back again after he'd been sacked twice or finished twice?
5 million reasons. 5 million reasons he'd come back.
I don't think he will.
I don't either. I don't. So go on then.
I've heard your opinions as well, Jim. But Sean Dyche is the main one who would fit in with our system, with our ethos, the way we play, with the players that we've got as well. I think he would solidify us in next to no time. So he's by far my favourite to come in if he would come in. I mean, I've heard talk that he wants higher than us, but
do you think it's realistic, Dyche?
I don't think it's out of the question. I don't think it's out of the question at all. No, I don't. So yeah, I mean, I don't really want Carrick. I don't want, all the others, Gary O'Neill, Cooper. They'd be okay. But there's only Dyche that would really excite me and I'd be pleased about. But the others, I would accept.
Dyche would be really exciting, wouldn't he?
Dyche would
straight away. You'd think we're on a charge now.
Absolutely. I could still see us getting promotion with that if Dyche came.
I could. If
you leave it another 6 or 7 games, we're never going to get promotion if we get Mourinho in. So,
well, that was my final sort of manager question for now, Dad, was how long do you think they'll give him? And I know it's all results based because he clearly is going to get the Ipswich game. I think just say for argument's sake, we'd just get narrowly beat at Ipswich. Do you think they bullet him then?
It's very difficult though because we've got some good players and we've got a good team. You mean so there's arguments to say you could just throw anybody out and say go and play and we'll get a tune out. We might get a result. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it doesn't mean he's a good manager. I don't know. I don't know how many games they'll give him. It seems quite relevant to me that he hasn't said a word since.
Ray keeps mentioning this in chat that there's in Platinum chat
he's not been any comment
on any signings. Usually, they always had a couple of lines from Wilder, didn't they? Whether it were just something he'd passed on or something like that. But it were always. I think he's going to be a great signing. Strengthens us where we need. Just a simple thing, a little bit similar to player interviews where they say everything you expect him to say, other than Ogbenny's, who I thought were really good, by the way. But no comment from Ruben Selles on any of the press releases for the signings. Really,
Benny's one the only one, but I'll tell you, I'll go through with that when we come to it. When we come to transfers. Okay.
Well, let's come on to it then, because again, I apologise
So Sellers has got to go for me. I can't even see him turning it round. I want him to win, but what's he going to do? How's he going to motivate the players now when he hasn't been able to motivate them for the first 4 games? I just can't see him turning it around at all. All we're going to do now is waste another 2 or 3 games before he goes, in my opinion.
Okay. Right. So, transfer window. Let's look at the outs first.
Well, let me go. Transfer window as a whole.
Yeah.
As a whole, it's I'm pleased with it. Because I think we've brought in some very good players who I wanted to bring in. But I think it's been a very scattergun approach, if I can say like that. I think it's like, we'll have him. I mean, without thinking,
Panic.
We're thinking, well, where's he going to fit? And where's he going to fit? And well, we've already got 4 bloody centre backs. Why are we buying another 2? Do you know what I mean? You're thinking
we've brought in 5 centre backs.
Well, and that was before
6
we got rid of Robinson.
6 if you include Godfrey. We've brought in 6 centre halves.
I know, but we still haven't brought in a proper right back.
Well, Godfrey will be the right back, won't he? So,
yeah, but you just said he's a centre back.
You could class him as a centre back. You certainly could. So he's built like a centre.
We haven't brought in a right back. We haven't even brought in a dominating. Well,
we'll come to it. Don't spoil the broth. Come on, let's go through it. Let's go through it.
Go on then. You ask me my question. And
Look, there's a couple we can skip over. So Gerbic on loan is as was really because he was already out on loan. We've still got 3 goalkeepers.
Is that like a bottom Turkish team he's gone to?
Middle
Turkish.
He's back in Turkey.
Top Turkish teams, is it?
No. But he's not a top player, is he? To be fair, so look, if he can get a bit of value back and he goes for a bit of money,
absolutely,
then it suits us, doesn't it? So then you had the returning loanees. Now, stop me if you think, or once I've told you the 7 names, I think it is. Would you have kept any of these, or would you have liked us to have gone back in for him? Knowing what you know, because obviously Alfie Gilchrist, Harry Clark, Harry Souttar, who obviously comes with a caveat because he's still injured. Rob Holding, Rob Holding, Hamza Chowdhury, Ben Brereton Diaz, and Jezran Raksaki.
Right. The forwards, the last 3 you mentioned, no, I won't go back. I know there were talk of us going in for Jez Raki, because I can't say his name. For old Raki. Raki, I won't go back in.
No track backy.
No track backy Raki. We're not having track back. No track backy Raki. Souttar I'd have with 1 leg, as you know.
Why? Why do we keep signing these injury-prone players?
I'd have him upping round on 1 leg at back, just going up, heading things away.
It'll do. We'd have taken that at first game of the season, to be honest.
I'd still have him now. So Souttar, I'd still keep him in mind, really. Would
Leicester do business with us for Harry Souttar, do you reckon, in January? Would Leicester, not that we need a centre-back, by the way, but would Leicester even do it?
Cross that bridge when we come to
it. I think that ship's sailed, to be honest, but go on.
Yeah. The right-backs were okay. Gilchrist, was it?
Yeah, Gilchrist. He signed for West Brom for $1.5 million.
I know he is. He's better than what we've got as an orthodox right back. I know he's supposed to be a centre back as well, but I always liked him at right back. I thought he did a job for us.
Yeah, I did too.
So I would have really liked to know. I know we've probably got all his eggs in the wool bucket, haven't we? But
we did do. I don't know that didn't happen, did it? So
no. So we're still without an orthodox right back. But well, anyway. So
but we don't miss Harry Clark, do we? Rob Holding. I'd have liked Rob Holding, but I'm certainly not complaining when we come to who we've brought in. But
yeah, Rob Holding has been replaced by a like for like, really.
Yeah, Hamza Chowdhury.
It's not an improvement. Chowdhury.
I think he's the only one. Gilchrist at the price, but Chowdhury was the only one who I think impacted our first team and sort of would have started.
But they wanted a fee for him, didn't they? They wanted a fee for him.
£5 million, yeah.
I don't know if it's worth $5 million.
Yeah, and a big wage and all. So
yeah.
So those were the ones that went back on loan.
Not too bothered, really. There's nobody really. Souttar was the big miss, but obviously he was injured.
Okay, then the big ones that left were Vinny Souza, £13 million.
Not being replaced.
Certainly unproven.
We'll come to that.
Anel.
Yeah, that's a year. I don't mind Anel going.
I was going to say a year left.
Tanganga's an improvement on Anel.
A year left on his contract, Dad. We got 7 rising to 8, I think, something in that ballpark.
Yeah.
For a player, look, good player, and will play better with better players, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's doing well with where he is now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He started really well. But to bring in Tanganga, which will obviously come on tough at very similar money, and get him on a 3-year deal, it's unbelievable business.
Yeah.
Jack Robinson has gone out. We've got a fee for Jack Robinson, which I think is really good business.
Fair play to him. Hats off to Jack
Mon chapeau.
We didn't like him. You know, we've been advocates for improving in that position since Premiership days, and but you know, good luck to him. Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely right.
When he plays those.
Yeah, but I think we've done well to get a fee for him. To be honest, it was when we started signing.
Is it about $1 million?
No, Well, yeah, I saw. Was it Darren Smith that put that on X around £1 million?
I don't know. I've seen it somewhere that it's about $1 million.
I heard it were a lot more. But again, I don't know. So you just report what you hear, don't you? So, R&D out on loan for season to QPR.
He'd gone here, hadn't he? He kept trying to come back, and he just never did. So again, I wish him all the best. But it was time for him to leave here.
So, to be honest, Dad, they're all really not good outs, because obviously we can't replace Vinny Souza, to be honest. But Jeff Caceres going out permanently. That's a
weird one. That why we let him go out without actually, when we paid for him, and then without actually seeing him play? Or
we're taking a loss on him. We're taking a loss on him. We needed to free up one of the foreign spots or something like that to do some of the. Well, I think it was for the Zetterstrom deal to go through. So that was just really poor planning from the club, and it sort of proves the theory that we were just scattergunning it and we were sort of panicking and didn't really know where to go with the signings. But that's a really poor deal. It's good that he's gone, but overall it goes down as a really poor bit of business from United.
Absolutely. I mean, you're still talking about, did he pay for him about 600 grand or something like that?
And he's probably gone on a free, and we'll get a sell on of whatever they get, 50% or whatever they're selling for. So it's just anyway. It's one of them.
Talking about sell-ons, what about that Osula thing?
I knew it as soon as you said sell on. Wow.
Hell.
How close were we for that? How close?
Bloody hell. That would have been wonderful.
£30 million for Will Osula.
Villa were in for him and all, weren't they? I mean, honestly, we've always said, don't get me wrong, and now it'll be, I'm not changing my tune here, because, we were all pleased for Osula.
Delighted.
But we really liked him, and we said there's a great player in there if he can just, control himself.
Same with One now, Dad. It's same with One now. He could go on and be a real player, could Ryan One. But if we got a Will Osula offer for him, you take it, don't you?
Of course you do, because he's not offering anything to us at the moment, and we need it now.
And it's very good money, isn't it? Very good money.
We're not a team who can buy a £10 million player. This sounds good here. We're not a team who can buy a £10 million player and get nothing from him and just play him in,
4 million, rising to 7.
£10 million player and get nothing from him when they can't get it team.
Speaking of which, another one that left the football club, Ryan Brewster.
Scored a good goal and all.
He did score a good goal. Good goal. And Kiefer Moore was the final out.
Kiefer Moore, I never wanted to leave anyway. I mean, I can see why he did. Because
making a profit, Dad, on a 33-year-old, making a profit on him.
Profit on a 33-year-old.
Big money for a third place.
He'd never hit the heights that we always thought that he would do here.
Yeah, agreed.
He showed things to me that showed that we should have kept him, but he never really did the business. Although I still think he were playing with was it a groin strain or?
It were like a hernia, weren't it? I think. Yeah, something like that.
For a lot of the season, and then obviously there were that bloody pass at Wembley, which didn't go down well.
Well, so, I know. I know a lot of people didn't. To be honest, the best example I can give to this, and they're very different players, but I always remember when I were a kid, you used to say to me, Emil Heskey is one of the most underrated players in the Premier League to a lot of people, because you'd hear a lot of people saying he doesn't score enough goals, he doesn't do this, and you'd be like, watch him, watch what he does to the defence, watch how uncomfortable he makes them, watch how he pulls them out of position, watch how they don't want to go anywhere near him, they don't want to, all these sort of things that you don't always think about.
Yeah.
And this is part of how you brought me up, really, trying to scout the game. And Kiefer Moore, different player. I'm not saying he's anything like Emil Heskey, really, but in terms of a big striker that just makes you uncomfortable, elbows, backing into him, all sort of stuff that you don't see, holds the ball up really well, can take it down on his chest. I really like him. I think he's a proper pro. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And I just think you were very, very unlucky. He just never really hit it off.
Just didn't click for
he didn't hit the ground running, did he? At United. So
didn't click for us, did he? Really, for whatever reason, whether we didn't play to his strengths or whether it just didn't gel for whatever reason.
In fact, I've just showed you one of his goals he scored the other day. I can't remember who it were against. Bloody goalkeeper splattered him. Did you see him? Smacked all his nose. He got all bloody nose as he were heading it in.
It doesn't surprise me. I love that though. I love that.
I do.
Right, on to the exciting bit, and this is where all those players who've gone out, obviously, in an ideal world, you'd have kept Vinny, and
Kiefer.
And yeah, I suppose, and Keith.
But I can see why we sold Keith.
We expected Vinny and Nel to go. I think we were saying that for the majority at summer. If we could hold on to Gus and Cooper, that were going to be a good window, obviously depending on who came in. We've done all of that we wanted to do. We can Kiefer Moore on 35 grand a week as a third choice striker, and you get 2 million quid for him. It's a no-brainer of a sale, really. And he's doing well, and fair play to him. He's another one that will want to do really well, but just not against us.
Yep.
So the outgoings, you either like them or you can justify them, I think, in terms of there's nobody that we're really up in arms about.
Yeah, there's nothing where I've thought, bloody hell, what have we let him go for? Do you know what I mean? It's
and
a
even like
decision.
Even like Robinson, and again, I won't backtrack because everybody knows my thoughts, but like Robinson, a decent championship defender. If we hadn't have brought in the players that we'd have brought in, then you might be a little bit like, well, why did we let him go? Because we needed this. But we've ended up bringing in 5 centre halves. So you know what I mean? If we hadn't have signed a centre half, a bit like when the other 2 or 3 games ago, we were all calling, we need Jack Robinson in this side.
I was just going to say exactly the same when we had Bindon and Norrington Davis playing.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But they'll get Jack Robinson back in.
But because of the deals that we've done as well coming in, which we'll come on to now, I think those outs you can be really okay with, to be honest, other than the Vinny one, which stings but was predictable. Go on, what are you laughing at?
No, I was just thinking about all the stuff that we've brought in. It reminds me of a Poundland Notts Forest. You know, when Notts Forest went into Premiership, we had a Poundland Notts Forest because we've bought all players from all over the place. So
I know.
Some of them's going to be a Gibbs White. You know what I mean? But a lot of them are going to be crap.
Let's hope so. So I've just seen a stat actually on I think it was Championship Chat podcast that said us and Watford are tied for the most transfer window signings for the first team.
I'm not surprised.
14 players we've brought in. So let's get the two out of the way. The first one particularly, Mikhail Polendikov, right back from Plovdiv, or wherever they are.
One of the best players I've ever seen. I
know.
He's going to be an absolute superstar.
Well, when you said Gibbs White signing, this is the level into.
That's the one I'm meaning.
This is the one we're talking about. So I'm a little bit disappointed they gave it to somebody like Tanganga, that number 2, when Polendikov is in the squad. But
a chuffing clue. I've never seen him play. I've never heard of him. So I've no idea.
So straight into 21s for young Mickey, and fair play. He's obviously
a young lad, but whoever's seen him, I've no
let's
idea.
hope. He's a development signing, isn't he? So it's one of them.
Like Kacheres.
Yeah, old Jeff, who's gone now.
Like Jeff,
but Matti Zetterstrom, who was obviously Nils Zetterstrom, coming into the side.
I'll tell you what. Can we do it a different way? Because Can we do the loans first?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
The loans. Because I'll tell you why. I'm very underwhelmed with the loans.
Okay.
Underwhelmed.
Okay. Well, we can. Okay, let's do that then. So the first signing to come in, I think, was Tyler Bindon, weren't it? Or Tyler Durden, as he's known on this channel.
The thing is with loans, which is what I'm thinking, because we can loan from Premiership clubs, and we usually can't afford to buy from Premiership clubs. I like to think that we're loaning players who we couldn't afford.
Surely that's the purpose of a loan deal, isn't it?
Absolutely, that is my sole
purpose. The 5 should be playing in your first team. The 5 loan players should all get in your first team.
Absolutely, and that's why we got McAtee and we got Tommy Doyle and we got the actual main man Gibbs White. You know what I mean? So, which is players who we couldn't afford to buy at that time. Maybe Tommy Doyle now slipped down a little bit, but so that's why we bought. We go for them, and that's why the loans I've been so underwhelmed with, because Tyler looks to me as though he looks a nice lad. He looks a decent player, but he doesn't even look top championship level. It looks like he's still learning his trade. First division, lower championship to me. I'm going to be. I were pleased with the signing when we made it, because I wasn't sure of the level of signings we were going for. At the time we signed him, we'd signed, I think, 3 or 4 of these development AI signings as they were tagged. Yeah,
and you think, well, finally we've got a centre-back who was rated really highly at the top end of League One as a young player. He's now gone to Forest as a centre-half. You look at some of the stuff he was playing in League One and you think, yeah, okay, he's going to strengthen us, he's going to come in and he's going to play. Obviously, the strategy has changed since Bindon came in, and we've then gone for more recognised, reputation-based targets. And there's a lot of rumours that we went back to Chris Wilder's recruitment list, essentially, which because it's Chris Wilder's recruitment team though that they were working with prior to him being sacked. These were all some of the allegedly some of the targets. I know Tanganga definitely was. So Binden's come in, thought he was going to play not a starring role, but certainly going to be a starter at this level for Sheffield United. It looked that way for a couple of weeks because he was joined by Louis Barry, another really hot prospect for his form in League One. Yeah. With Stockport, scored a hatful of goals for them, had done the previous season. He got his loan terminated halfway through last season and went on loan to Hull with Selles, chose Hull over other clubs in the league because he wanted to play with Ruben Selles, sold him whatever he was selling, and then got injured, unfortunately, so that we never saw how he performed in the Championship, really, for Hull. But comes in, we all know that he's great at League One level. Can he do it at Championship level? What's your thoughts on Louis Barry so far, Dad?
Hit and miss. I think he's shown it in flashes.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't write him off altogether. He's in each game. It looks, it seems as though he's cut in and sort of like had a shot and goal and what have you. But he's been anonymous for a lot of the games, and he's been pulled off, I think, can't he? Most games as well. So
yeah, yes. For Ryan One.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I wouldn't write him off completely, but he's certainly not a massive step above what we've been, what we're hoping for a loan.
Yeah.
So that's the second loan.
Yeah, the next loan to come in was Samari, Jibril Samari, who came in against Birmingham. I think that's his only football, unless he did a fleeting appearance off the bench. I'm not entirely sure, but his only appearance was something like 60 minutes against Birmingham in the Cup. I thought he was our best player in a very poor side.
Me too. I thought I saw that. Obviously, I only saw it on TV, but
and not had a sniff since.
And why? And he's been on the bench. I've no idea. He's supposed to be the replacement, and we've paid something like
£1 million quid.
£1 million for a loan fee for him.
Yeah,
and he's
with an obligation for about 10 if we go up as well.
So you're expecting a similar player to
Thing is, Dad, this is where the manager comes under scrutiny, and probably rightly so, because we are getting overrun in midfield in these games. Yeah. Samari is on the bench. I don't know whether he's fit or not, but if he's not fit, don't put him on the bench.
Don't put him on the bench.
Yeah, absolutely right. So get somebody on who can come on and make a difference rather than, he's not even an option for us because he's 50-50 or whatever it might be. We are losing control of the middle, which is where we lose the control of the game then. And then the defenders, no matter how good they are, because we saw it against Borough, Tanganga were a one-man defence, and we'll come on to him, obviously. He were a one-man defence against Borough at times. But when you've got two and sometimes three running at him because they've overwhelmed our midfield, we're open, wide open, and it could have been 2 or 3 quite easily. We are losing that midfield battle because we've no ball winner in there at the moment. He wants to play Siddy Peck as the deepest behind Gus and O'Hare. I get that they might be the best 3 midfielders at the moment available. You might rate Siddy higher as a footballer than Samari, but it's about systems and who can work where in your system. Surely it's not a, you can't just say, it's a little bit like the Tom Cannon thing. When he clearly didn't rate Brooks and Ukaki, so he put Tom Cannon, who he must have thought was a better footballer than both of them, out on the right wing. Well, he's not a right winger.
No.
So this is where the manager has to take. So don't even get me started on Ryan One coming on at right wing back the other night. What did you make to that? And what do you make of all this positional nonsense? Really?
Well, you've gone off on a tangent there, Jim, haven't you?
Sorry, I have. It annoys me. It annoys everybody, though, doesn't it?
Loan transfers with Samari.
Sorry, yeah. But why is he not getting a kick when we're getting overrun in midfield?
This is totally my point, Jim. This is totally my point when I said that we haven't replaced Sousa. We have supposedly replaced Sousa with Samari. That was supposed to be that thing. But why is he not playing him? I've no idea. I mean, if Samari is as good as... Well, even if he sort of like it plays as he did at Birmingham, is worth a shot playing in our defensive midfield role. But he's just not playing him, so I haven't a clue what the situation is there. So that's Samari who's still... That's another loan. That's 1, 2, 3 loans that we've talked about so far, is it?
Yeah, Ben Godfrey. This is where we stepped it up a level.
Ben Godfrey is... You see, this is where I differ slightly from you, I think.
I know you do.
I'm not 100% on Ben Godfrey. I've seen him. I saw him at Everton when he weren't great. I mean, I know he's had a great career.
That's the level. I think you sometimes get done by the level, though, don't you?
Well, you do, but he's been on loan twice for a season at a time, to Atalanta and.
No, I think he's an Atalanta player now, but he's been on.
Well, yeah, all right. So
he's been on loan at Ipswich, yeah,
and then he's been for a season at Atalanta, and he's played about a game a season for each of those two teams in the last 2 seasons, and you think, well, why? If you're
you can understand him not getting into
Premiership player.
You can understand him not getting into Atalanta side, though. Okay, it's Serie A. It's not a Mickey Mouse league, is it?
But if you're a decent Premiership player, you should be able to be around about it. So listen, Ben Godfrey
improves us, doesn't he?
Pedigree, but he's only got the pedigree through having a great start at Norwich and then getting transferred for a big fee to Everton and playing a little bit at Everton. You were never a star at Everton.
Well, but he was involved for a season and a half or so, and then he just tapered out as they strengthened, and he obviously went down the pecking order.
So Ben Godfrey, I know you're saying, well, yeah, we know, but that were Premiership. Do you know what I mean? So
he improves us, Dad. He improves us as well.
Well, not unlike right. So we've got Tyler Binden, who is probably not up to the level. We've got Louis Barry, who's maybe up to the level, but not quite. We've got Samaria, who we still no idea about. And we've got Ben Godfrey, who we're hoping that he will be an improvement.
Yeah.
But he's not a nailed on. Do you know what I mean? He's not, for me, he's not. I know there's a lot of people who like him, but also the other thing is, he's a centre half. That's his main position is a centre half. And we want him as a right back. He's
certainly built as a centre half. He's played more games at right back now, I think.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, Godfrey is not the. I don't feel about him the same way. Wouldn't have a rant about him like I did about Cannon when we brought Cannon, and I couldn't understand why. But so I can understand why we brought Godfrey in. But out of all the centre backs that we've brought in, except for probably Matty, who's still a bit of a project, really, I wouldn't put him in front of any of them.
Really?
Or Binden, I probably would. Yeah.
So
I won't put in front of me or.
We'll come on to them. We'll come on to them. But in terms of Godfrey signing, I'm
okay with that, but I don't think he's nothing that he doesn't excite me.
Well, I think we're now going to use him as a right back, but I think originally it was pinpointed as an Anel replacement because I think I don't think he's as good as Anel technically, but in terms of being an athlete and being quick for a centre half and covering what you need to, I think he was brought in to be that defender who stands on halfway line and can get back like Anel used to do. I thought that's what his signing was about.
I thought as well. I mean, this is only on a short viewing of him. I thought his positioning were really poor against Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I did.
He were miles off. He were miles off the wide men. Whether it be Target who were running through or whether they're wide men running through,
I agree.
Miles off them.
I agree, and we've criticised Sariki for that previously, and Burrows, and now Godfrey's doing the same. We're sort of standing miles off. Yeah, I know.
So you've got 4. I mean, we could talk last one in a minute, but we've got 4 who you were hoping would be sort of like game changers for us and coming in and being a big difference to our first team. And I think those 4 to me are.
I think Godfrey's a starter, so I think you can class him.
I'll give you Godfrey maybe, yeah.
And you can hopefully give me this one as well, because on the right wing on deadline day, our last loan signing was Chio Ogbeni from Ipswich.
I like him. Yeah. He's not a guarantee. He's not Gibbs White or a McAtee or Doyle or
David Brooks, that sort of level, is he?
Yeah, he's not that sort of level, but he's a good player and he brings us something that we don't have, which is pace.
Correct. We haven't had pace for so long. He is such. I mean, I've known him for so I know him. Clang.
Yeah. But I don't even know his first name. So.
Chio.
Me and Chio. But he seems such a nice kid, and nobody got a bad word to say about him. He's had a couple of bad injuries, which goes against him, and I know about that because obviously he had one at Luton, didn't he?
You're not allowed to say the nice kids, because when we used to say that about Brewster, That was the first thing you chucked back at everybody. Well, don't matter. Oh yeah, well great. We'll pay him 35 grand a week then to be a nice kid.
No,
is that what you said?
Nice. No, I didn't say we're a nice kid. We were a cheerleader. We were a Brewster. I didn't say we're a nice kid.
I'm only playing anyway. I'm only playing. So, Benny, certainly an upgrade on Brooks, upgrade on Okaki.
If he stays fully fit, I think he can give us something, different. Because he's got a few goals for Rotherham as well. I remember him being a good player at Rotherham. I saw him, a few little times there, and and Luton paid quite a bit for him, although he got injured quite early on, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But a bad injury as well.
I'm quite looking forward to seeing, and I think he is one who could force his way into our team.
Yes,
because
agreed.
Now, is he right or left-sided?
He's right.
Yeah, I think he's right. But so he is a definite upgrade on what we've got there.
So I think we
read between the lines.
I do. Listen, I don't need to. I sit next to you at game. So out of the 5 loans, I think we've got 3 starters out of that.
2. Samari, maybe.
No. Yes. Barry starts, doesn't
he? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, not bad.
I know what you mean, though. They're not amazing loan signings. A lot of them, are they? They're not. No, they're not in terms of. So, we haven't got a Gibbs White or a Dean Henderson in this crop, have we?
No, they're okay. They're okay. Them always, but you. Now we talk about it. Really, they're okay signings. They're not bad signings.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Back to the permanent signings then.
Yeah.
Let's. Which way should we do this? Yeah. All right. We'll do it. Well, Ukaki's classed as a summer signing because he was probably the first one, weren't he?
I haven't seen him.
We haven't seen enough of him, have we?
A couple of friendlies.
1.5 million allegedly. 1.5 million quid. Just chucking money away. Matty Zetterstrom.
Only seen him on clips on YouTube and things. Looks very impressive, to be honest.
Looks raw, doesn't he? But he does look good.
Looks raw. It looks a bit like a young Anel, to be honest.
I agree.
A bit lanky but gets forward and sort of like keen and leggy. But he looks. I'm quite keen to see how he plays. Really.
Alex
I don't think he'll be a
Matos.
starter though. I think he'll be behind the others.
Oh, absolutely won't. I'd be surprised to see him involved a lot at all, to be honest. Just because of the numbers of centre halves we've got now. Alex Matos, do you know it? I don't know anything about him, Dad. So I'm not chucking him up.
This is what worries me slightly because.
Have you heard from Huddersfield boys? Have you spoken to Huddersfield boys?
I've talked to the Huddersfield boys about him.
All right, okay.
Oh, because funnily enough, when it came through, I was sat with a couple of them in a pub. You'll be surprised to know.
I'm shocked.
And it says, we sound like, you were with us, you were Matos. I said, what were he like? I can't really remember him really. He run about a lot, and very energetic. But
that was 2 years since.
That sounds great. You know what I mean? But I've heard that from everybody now. I've heard it from Oxford fans who posted online, and that he's very enthusiastic. Runs around a lot and puts his foot in. But you don't expect any goals or much creativity from him and whatever. So
we don't need that though. As long as he's a ball winner, that's all we need, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think he's a Sousa type ball winner. But who's an upgrade on that? Who we could have had? Who I've been bloody banging on about? Lewis O'Brien could have done that job twice as good as him.
If we get upset about the deals we could have got over the line, we'd be here a long time.
To be honest, there's a lot that we've missed out on. Like Ben Sheaf's gone on it, and people like that. And what they call is just gone to Swansea winger.
Benson.
What? How come we've not been in for these?
I know.
For nothing. Well, don't even talk to me about Coney. But
I'm not going to talk to you about Coney because we didn't sign him. I'm going to talk to you about players we did sign. So that's Matos. Right, then we come on to some bigger names now. So, Chong. Chong was the last of the midfielders that we hadn't covered. What do you think to Tahith Chong?
I was looking at. I came across a list that from about 2 years ago of players that I would like to sign. Funny enough, Callum O'Hare were on it. Nice. And Chong were on it as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think he's struggled in the last year or two at Luton.
We saw him. I remember seeing him at United when he played for Birmingham.
He almost controlled game, didn't he?
We were thinking, who's this player? Yeah, bloody hell. Were he on loan from Man U at the time?
He were on loan from Man U, and then we couldn't believe that they got him. They got him for something like 500 grand, and then Luton had to pay something like 4 or 5 to get him out. But they got him for a steal, and we couldn't believe at time. How did Birmingham? Because Birmingham weren't the Birmingham powerhouse in terms of big ownership now. So they did a really good deal with that because he was playing really. I think Hannibal were on loan for him at the same time. And them two together were doing really well, so I might be wrong there. But yeah.
Chong, if we can get the old Chong, great, because he's quick. He's a wide boy. Well, I think he plays wide or in through middle, doesn't he? Wide boy. But I think he's quick. He can go past players. So he might, and I think he can play right or left. I think.
Yeah, he can. He can play all behind striker, really. If you want, he's predominantly left-hand side.
He's the left-footer, I think, isn't he? I think.
Not sure. Not sure. Off the top of my head.
No, I'm not sure really, but I think I've seen him play both right and left side,
which gives you flexibility. I like it as a squad signing, Dad.
Me too. So I mean, if say for instance we've got Louis Barry on the left and we've got Ogbeni on the right, he can cover for both of them. If either of them's not playing well, he can cover for both of them.
I really like that as a signing.
I think Chong is a good signing.
Yeah, it's smart, and it means you don't.
But as I said, we don't know because we haven't seen any of them for a while. But from what we know about him, I think he's good.
And you get to keep your wig as well, so even better. Even better.
It's not really a Chowdhury haircut, though. It's a bit more stylish. His old Chong's.
Is it a minute? It's you. It has been that Chowdhury one though before, hasn't it? Previous. So we'll go with. Let's go next with Mark McGuinness, because this came out of absolutely nowhere. I don't know anybody that saw it coming on deadline day. The final, was it the final? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was the penultimate signing of the night. No. What do we think to this one? Because
I remember when I was a young kid.
Go on.
No, go on. Because what?
Whenever I've seen him previously, I haven't been enamoured. I'll be honest. I think we figured him out in the game when we played Sheffield Wednesday. I think we targeted him, and I thought we did well against him. I think he looked like he had a few holes when he played for Cardiff against us as well. So I didn't particularly when this signing sort of came about, I weren't like, oh well. Plus, a lot of that was we don't need another centre half. Look, we're stacked in that position.
Absolutely.
And Robinson was still here at that.
This is what I'm talking about.
It would before me.
Let's buy him.
It would be before me came in. But it was while Robinson was still here at that point, and you're thinking, well, why are we doing this deal? But you look at it, you sit back on reflection, and you think, well, Luton paid 10 million quid for him, or up to 10 million quid, rising to 10, whatever it was, and he's only 24. They've gone balmy about him being sold to us, which is always a good sign, I think. And I'm more than willing, obviously, because he's going to play for United, but. Maybe just the glimpses I've seen were a young kid getting to grips with level or whatever it might be, and he could well be a really good signing for us. So I'm cautiously optimistic about McGuinness. I think there's going to be an argument because we can talk about this one as well. Ben Mee coming in, I think, is an unbelievable signing for us for more than one reason. I think both on and off the pitch he can offer us something. On is less certain now at this point in his career. 35, not played a lot of football last year. But we needed, and we've been talking about this, I don't think it's been on stream particularly, Dad, but I know me and you have been really keen for us to get some leaders into that changing room.
We've said it on screens. Every time I've come on, I've been banging.
We've needed character. We've needed men, haven't we, who can pick these young boys up.
I've been banging on about it since John Egan left. I've been banging on about it.
So talk to me about McGuinness and me coming in then, because obviously we've got a statement signing that will also come on to clearly, but it's going to be the statement signing plus either or at the minute, unless we go with a different formation.
And I've got my idea on that. But McGuinness, I think my first thought, like you, was why? Why have we've never been linked with him? I've not heard much about him. He's never sort of like been brought up as he's an up and coming centre half. But yeah, he's done all right. He did all right at Cardiff, I think, before Wednesday, didn't he? And he's okay. And I didn't realise he was only 24. I thought he were older. So
I thought so.
If somebody's seen something in him that he could go on to become a quality centre half, I think you've described it well. Cautiously optimistic. He's all right. I don't really know that much about him. I don't know why we've bought him, but if we haven't bought him for a lot of money, I'm quite happy as long as we can but it pushes everybody else down. That's the other
Yeah, it does.
Because I'm going on to Bertie Mee now. That's his name, isn't it? Bertie Mee.
Yeah, Bertie Mee. Yeah.
Yeah. Me, I think he's a great signing for us. He's exactly what we wanted. I think he'll do what we were hoping Holden would do for us last year and get everything sorted out. And I would play Mee in every game. He would be my first choice centre-back in every game that he's fit for.
First choice centre-back?
First choice with Tanganga would be... No, so it
well
would be them two.
So that's your pairing. If they're both fit, they undoubtedly both play together.
I would put them in straight away. So I would play Mee in every time he's fit. The only time I would not play him was if he wasn't fit or whatever. Because obviously, and he might need a rest because he's oldest of all of them who's come in at 35. But I've listened to a couple of interviews to him, and you were on about Ogbenia were a great, spoke really well.
Yeah.
Have you heard Mee speak as well? Yeah. Honestly, he's so
top
keen,
class.
And he's coming to play. We were disappointed last year that he were on bench quite a bit, in Premiership, and I think he's just an ideal. I think him and Tanganga will be great for us.
Do you hand him the armband straight away?
Absolutely.
Do you walk up to him on a red cushion and say, "Please take this"?
And say, "Please take this."
Yeah,
get us promoted. Get this. I'll say, get this back four or back five, back four.
We'll come on to it.
I know. Get it sorted out, and obviously, we'll zoom up that table. Get him told what to do. Get Burrows. If he's bloody bombing on that thing, get hold of him and say, "Get back here, you little git."
Get your 14-year-old son and bite scruff at neck and tell him where to come back.
Get back here.
You're not having your tea.
Get Tanganga, get old Jaffe running around like a maniac, running around for you,
smashing into everybody.
Yeah, go and get that smack. Go and head that away. He'll stay back here. And
I'll guard the fort. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I'll sweep up for you behind.
Coops, put kettle on, Coops.
Me's the one who normally goes to head the ball. To be honest, because he's something else. He's scored quite a few goals from
he has
plays and stuff.
Yeah, he has.
So
you've met
something else. But I mean, you've got to hold your hand up and say, look, he's 35, so he's not. He's only going to be this season and maybe next at a touch.
Oh, well, that's our choice as well, though, isn't it? +1+1, I think, is good for club as well.
But what I'm saying is, we would be stupid as a team, as we were last year, to have somebody of such experience and such, organisation
presence
and not use them. And then, he's on bench for McGuinness or Tyler or whoever. And you'll say, well, we're there in case. And we've wasted all that experience of not playing him when he could do. I understand that he might not be able to play them all, but, that's my opinion anyway.
So you've mentioned him already. I didn't know which one because there's two left, and I didn't know which one to come to first.
No, there's three left.
Is there?
There's two more. There's another one left, yeah.
There's two left, I think. Oh, well, you can correct me if I'm wrong then. But Tanganga is obviously our statement signing this window. I think it's probably fair to say.
Arguably.
I think he is
arguably.
Well, go on. You can come to it. Well, this is probably why, because I know your boy's here, isn't he now? So
yeah.
But that's all we're going to come on to. But Tanganga, I was saying before, when we lost Nell and we lost Vinny, and a lot of people are saying we need a statement signing. We'd said previously that I don't think they'll bring a statement striker in. I don't think they'll. Usually, a statement signing in this league is a forward type player. Sometimes it's a midfielder with a big reputation. Very hard to get a defender that you can say wow to. Well, I think we've done it. Yeah. I think this is the most wow signing you can make for a defender at this level. I think he's certainly top 3 in the league, in my opinion. There might be some players in relegated side squads that give him a run for his money. But in terms of somebody who has been at this level, proven, been there, done it, and we saw it against Borough because he were on his own. I think he's a brilliant signing for us. He levels us up. He's one of those that a lot of people wanted to go for in the closed season because he's quite obviously a player that could step up to Premier League level. And they're all the signings that we all want us to make. but very few of those you get over the line, particularly when you're in competition with relegated sides and stuff. But how good and how pleased are you with Japhet Tanganga coming in, Dad?
Massively pleased. We've rated him for a long time. We've known he's been a good player. And I'm so pleased that we've got him. And hopefully he'll be our centre-half for a long time. A couple of red flags. One is that I can't understand why no Premiership club's been in for him when they had a $1.5 million fee release clause. I mean, how easy would it have been for Leeds to buy him for $1.5 million, not work out, play him, not work out, and then sell him to us for $5 million? Or
even if they don't think he fits in with plans this season, buy him for $1.5 and loan him out to us, and then they've got a £10 million defender that they're on their books.
I can't work that out. How all the Premiership clubs have not done that, but I also can't work out how he's come to us. He's a London boy and what have you, and he's come up to with his Sean Bean land.
It's not one that we ever thought would happen, is it? Let's be right.
No,
because of those reasons. Yes, absolutely. It's not that we didn't want him. It's just that we always me and you have talked about him before. London boy. There's a reason he went to Millwall, because this was our theory. Probably wrong now. Who knows? But look, when he left Tottenham, still known to be a really good player. So why does he end up at Millwall? It's a weird one. Well, it must be because he's a London boy and he wants to stay in and around his family and his mates and didn't want to leave and uproot. Yeah. So that's the only logical thing you can think. And no offence to Millwall, they're a good Championship side, but he could have gone. He could have gone top end Championship, even probably bottom end at Premier League and somewhere else. So it were a really strange move that to Millwall in first place.
The only times this has happened, the only times this sometimes happens, and I don't know about this because it's only through my dealings with like professional players. Remember, like Jamie Lawrence at Bradford City.
Yes, yeah.
Who were a London boy. Do you remember him?
Yeah. Pineapple on his head.
I hope it. Well, only a bit. Yeah, he won't like other one, but
Jason Lee.
I hope he don't listen to this because I hope he don't listen to this because he's a real hard nut. He's Jamie Lawrence, but he was.
Well, didn't you call him a nutter?
No, I didn't. No, I never did. Jamie, if you're listening, I never
proper loose cannon, I think were the words you used.
No, I never ever called you. I think you were the nicest player I ever met.
Honestly, Tim, what a nutter.
Honestly, he were a really nice player. He were a really nice kid. But he used to go to London on a regular basis when he was up at Bradford. But he wanted to get away from Bradford because every time he went to London, he got into bother because all his crew or his mates or whatever.
The boys.
I mean? They were all really wrong uns. And his family made him come up to Bradford to try and get him out of the way, from London. So
he had a good spell at Bradford as well, didn't he?
Tanganga. Hey?
He had a good spell at Bradford, did Jamie Lawrence?
He did, yeah. He were real well when he came out of prison. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he were really good.
Wow, you try and help somebody out.
But yeah, I mean, he was. He were a really good player. And I'm not saying that's Tanganga because I haven't heard anything like that. But just sometimes you need to get away from certain environments, just so that you can maybe concentrate on your football a little bit more. Yeah, absolutely right. But in terms of a signing, I think he levels us up. Signing, it's brilliant. I'm glad we've got him.
I know you said me's first name on team sheet for you, but I know you were sort of including Tanganga in that. Joint first, I think is probably right, isn't it? Yeah. So Tanganga and me are your definite pair to start.
Correct. While ever they both fit, yeah.
We'll come on to possibly including another centre half if the formation changes. But the last one that I think to mention, is there one more?
Is there one more?
Is there one more after this one that I'm going to say?
Have we got room for one more?
Well, I've got one more in me. That's a private joke.
I've got one more in for me.
I've got one more if anyone wants to hear it. I've got one more.
How long have I been going on about this player to come?
A long time.
He's my Cameron Archer.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. Dad, talk to me about Danny Ings.
He's to me, he's like me in that he's a proper footballer.
Proper pro,
you know what I mean? He's a proper man footballer. Do you know what I mean? Who respects his job, who does the right things, who does things in the right way.
Proper pro, innit? A pro.
Yeah, and I think he's also been very disappointed in that he hasn't been able to play. Now, I know when we've spoken about him in the past, I know you've always liked him. In fact, I think you probably saw him Did you see him when you were scouting? When you were playing?
I recommended him to Colchester. I recommended him to Colchester, and they didn't take him.
Because, funnily enough, we talked about him, because I said we both liked him, but he wasn't good enough for Everton at that time. Because I think I was working at Everton, so he wasn't that sort of standard. So, but I remember, obviously, so we've known about him a long time. But you poo-pooed me in the nicest possible way.
I did.
Because you said there's no way he's going to come because he's on 125 grand a week, and I said, you're probably right, Jim, because he is on 125. And while ever he's on 125 grand a week, he's never even going to bloody sniff around Sheffield.
That is a fair recollection of the conversation, I think.
Yes. But I also then said, yeah, but as soon as his contract ends at the end of this year, he's on nothing.
It's whatever anybody's willing to pay him, isn't it?
Yeah. Whatever. He's obviously wanting that again, but you're not going to get that again. So, no. And it's worth. I always thought it would be worth the conversation. I didn't think he probably would, but he's weighed things up, and so, and again, I don't mind getting some stick about this because I would like with me at centre half. He's 33 now, I think he's in.
Yeah, he is.
33.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I would play him in front of Campbell.
I knew you were going to say this. I knew you were going to say that.
Whenever he's fit, I would play him in front of Campbell
and have Campbell come on.
Yeah, I would.
You don't think Ings is the finisher at this stage of his career?
No, I think he's a starter at this, and then he can come off when he's knackered. So
there'll be people that agree with you. It's a brave. Dad, there's some things you've said. No, but there's some things you've said tonight that Hamer hasn't been great at all this season, and I think that's true. But I also think it's taking the shine off how poor all the other players have been as well. But Ings to start over Campbell. I think both of them, people will be thinking and not really saying because it is a controversial shout for both.
Absolutely, it is. But I think what's happened is we all have relevance bias. Is it when
recency bias?
Anyway,
recency bias.
Recency bias, yeah. Because you think, bloody Hamer won the League Championship Player of the Year last year as the best player in the Championship. Rather fortunately, I've got to say, even though I'm a massive Hamer fan and I love Gus Hamer, but I think rather fortunate, really.
Agreed.
And Campbell had a great season, scored some good goals for us, played really well once he got fit. So we both have got great memories of those two. If you look how both of them have played this year in isolation from last year, you didn't know Gus Hamer was that player, and you didn't know Campbell was that player, you'd be thinking, they're not that good. You know what I mean? What's all bloody fuss about?
But you could say that collectively for the playing squad this season.
Absolutely.
And I don't think Campbell's had the service. To be fair,
even Cooper's not played to the standards that I thought he would do this season.
I agree, but I don't think Campbell's had the service. I think Gus playing in the 8 is a failed experiment. There are a lot of us called for. So
you'll give Cooper, you'll give Campbell so many excuses for not having a service. In fact, you'll give our strikers so much. But let me just go back to. I think
to be fair though, have I not been the one? Again, another controversial thing that we sometimes say, but we try and just give us honest opinions. I was worried, and I think you agreed, that Campbell may not be the same player this season as he was last year.
You did. We both spoke about that, and I still worry about that.
Yeah, but now he's got serious competition.
What I'm saying is, if you're a striker, a lone striker, which is a hard job, you do need service, and obviously you get good service. But we saw, or at least I saw anyway, from Kiefer Moore, even when he wasn't getting good service, he closed down defenders. He made it awkward for them. Do you know what I mean? He ran into them, and I don't see Campbell, and even more so, I don't see Cannon doing any of that, because I know you've also stuck up for Cannon a little bit, saying, "Look, we haven't played him in right positions, and we haven't played it. We haven't given him the service." But I also think, you can run around and bloody close people down, and so I make it awkward for anybody.
Yeah, that's fair.
So. Now, I don't think Ings is that sort of player. So, having said all that, he's not a Kiefer Moore where he's going to, or an Emil Eskew who's going to charge around and what have you. But I think he's a very much cleverer player than either of those two, and he will get into the right positions. So,
Okay, no worries. So that is everybody, Dad.
You're looking at time.
No, I'm just looking at some of the things because I'm trying to keep up with some comments as well. I've hardly read any comments, and I do apologise because we've been going over an hour now, but it's a fascinating conversation, and I know people wanted to hear from you, so I'll get through whatever comments I can in a minute. But how would you rate our window overall, Dad? You don't have to get like a grading or anything, but how would you rate it as a window? Would you say it's been very good? Would you say, in looking at now as we've talked it through, has that changed your mind at all?
Yeah, I think it's. I don't think it's great, but I think it's good because we've brought in some good players. We've strengthened a lot of the players. We've strengthened a lot of positions that we needed, but we've missed out on some. We've over-strengthened centre-backs and missed out on some others. You know, I want to make sure that we definitely need a good central defensive midfield player. And Somari might be that one. Matos might be that one. I'm not sure about either of those two. We haven't got a proper right back. So those are teams where we could have got somebody in those positions instead of the extra centre half.
And I also think because it's so clear that we have veered from the initial strategy in the transfer policy, that we've now got loan players that are surplus. Like Binden's the one that jumps out to me because if you stick him,
what number is he going to be?
If you're sticking with a back four and you class Godfrey as your right back, then we've still got Tanganga and me who will start. Then there's McGuinness in front of him as well. So if there's a third centre back to be involved, it won't be Binden, and then it's probably Binden before Tanganga, and that's if you class Godfrey as a right back. So
and we've still got Matty.
Sorry, did I say Tanganga? I meant Zetterstrom. But we've still got. Yeah, I meant Matty rather than because obviously Tanganga's starting. So I think Binden's 4, and then Zetterstrom's underneath him. But that's only if you class him Godfrey as a right back. So I think it's been a waste of a loan in hindsight because we've changed strategy. Do you think, Dad, it makes us shift to a back 3 at all? Only reason I push back on it is because we've got Louis Barry, or we could be putting it in the same boat as Binden here, as we might not need a left winger. Chong is more of a winger. Ogbenny's a winger.
I'll tell you what. I'm glad you asked that, Jim. Because
have you got a team for me?
I have got a team. I looked at a back 3 team. I wouldn't play this back 3 team, but I looked at a back 3 team. But I've also, before I'm going to say anything, I spoke to somebody about Tanganga when we were on about getting him. Or I might have spoke or read. I can't remember. But anyway, apparently when Tanganga came from Tottenham to Millwall, he were poor. He didn't fit in. And they were playing a back 3. Neil Harris came in and changed it from a 3 to a 4, and he fitted in. And ever since then, he's played.
I've heard that somewhere as well. Might
have been from me, Jim.
It might have been. It might have been.
Anyway, but that's only what I've heard. I've not seen it, but it's just something to be aware of. That if your best player, your best centre half, doesn't like playing in a 3, it might be something to be aware of.
But you could also argue that we thought Anel for us was much better in a 3, and Robinson were better in a 3, and we didn't play to that strength either, did we? But
there's a lot of centre backs who play better in a 3. Egan were better in a 3.
Yeah, he was. Okay, so we don't think we shift, but right then.
But I'll give you. I'm going to put these little readers on there.
Oh, nice. So, okay, go on then.
Right.
Because I was going to ask you for your 4-2-3-1.
Right, you want me 4-2-3-1?
Yeah. What is our best? What is our best side now for you? If Sayers sticks with this formation,
right? I've got these, and to be honest, there's nearly a good quality reserve underneath them as well.
Do you know what, Dad? That is you know my squad assessment videos that I do every transfer window. I'm doing one of them on Thursday, and I've prepped it, and I thought exactly the same. That we've got good depth now.
Right, I'll tell you a team with the one underneath it as well.
All right, okay.
Cooper would be in goal, obviously, with Davis behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah. The middle 2 would be Tanganga and me.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Binden and McGuinness probably as the 2 sort of like underneath them.
Yeah.
Yeah. The full backs would be Godfrey and Burrows.
Yeah.
With
McCallum and Sariki.
And McCallum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good depth across the defence there.
Yeah. The middle two is, the defensive two would be Matos and Samari.
Okay.
A little bit unknown, really, innit?
Yeah, a little bit unfair on City as well.
Peck and Davis underneath them.
Would you not have Peck in line up alongside one at defensive, lads?
No, I wouldn't. I'd give him a rest. I think it's time for Peck to come out.
You're picking Matos blind because you've already runs around a bit and you're dropping Peck?
Yeah.
Okay,
Peck's
we'll move on.
Well. Peck's not played well, just right.
In the way he's been asked to play. Yeah,
the middle three, the three behind the front man. I'm going to make sure I don't pick 12 this time.
Yeah, go on.
All right.
Would it Dave the Nose? Dave the Nose,
yeah,
I think,
Dave
spotted that.
I know, clever ass.
Clever nose.
Clever nose. He don't know nothing. Dave the Nose don't know nothing. Anyway, except that I picked 12 men in the team. Right. So the middle three would be of Benny
on the right,
Barry
on
as
the
the
left.
wide men, with Chong and One obviously as their backups.
Yeah.
With Hamer in the middle of the three. And
O'Hare. So you would have One as backup to Barry rather than Chong.
But these are only because you're putting them in. You'd probably have Chong as backup to both of them. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I was going to say, does Brooks not get in front of One for you as the
Hold
reserve?
on a minute, we haven't finished yet.
All right, okay.
We haven't finished yet. So up front, then you've got Ings with
Ings
Campbell
as the starter with Campbell behind.
You know what that leaves out? That leaves out without these aren't even the backups to the team. Cannon, Zatterstrom, and Brooks.
Yeah, I know.
That's
So,
but it's even more so. That's my team. I'm looking at.
That's really very similar. Very similar. So go on. Three at the back.
I'm just going to go through this quickly because it's very much similar sort of players. But you'd have Cooper, McGuinness, Tanganga, and me as the back three.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, agreed.
You would have the wing backs of Benny and Burrows.
So you're leaving out Godfrey for
Sariki.
No, Godfrey for McGuinness,
Benny.
really. McGuinness, really. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Benny and Burrows. But this is one of. I've only just I've done this for a point really.
Okay.
So then you'd have Matos as the middleman, in the defence in the three.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not Stuart McCall in him, are you? You can't do that. No, you can't have three.
But we've got 3-5-2.
Well, it's not just Matos in middle, then, is there? There's two more.
Yeah. Well, there's Hamer and O'Hare as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Campbell and Ings up front.
So is that that's a 3-3-2-2? That
it's a 3-5-2.
No, it's a 3-1-4-2.
It's a 3-3-2-2. To be honest, isn't it?
That's what I said at first, but it's a 3-1
or a 5-3-2. Anyway, that's
okay.
what it is. So, but what I'm saying with that, right, you might not be balanced. Listen to me.
Yeah, it's not the one.
It might not be balanced, but with that team, and if you just think about that team, it's not the team.
It's not the team.
No, it's not the team, but it's not a bad team.
Yeah, but that's not the best three at the back team you can set up.
That's not my point I'm making. That's not a bad team. Just look, Cooper, McGuinness, Tanganga, me, Ogbunny, Burrows, Matos, Hamer, O'Hare, Campbell, Ings. Right?
Yeah.
Not saying it's balanced, right? But that's a good, solid, good team. If you play that team, you've got 4 loans that's not playing. Godfrey, Bindon, Barry, and Samari.
I knew this was just to prove a point because it's a bit square peggy round holy, to be honest, for you. It's just to prove this point, isn't it?
But so if you played that team, there's 4 loans not playing, and then there's also Peck, Davis, Brooks, Arblaster, Cannon, One, Sariki, McCallum, Zatterstrom, and Chong not playing as well.
I know it's not. I don't think we're going 3 at the back yet.
I don't think we are.
I certainly think
it just shows you with that. I don't think.
I certainly think we've got the personnel to do it now. because we're stacked with right back. We're centre halves.
Centre backs, I know.
Yeah, we know that Ogbenny could play a bit further back as a right wing back, but Sariki's built to be a wing back. Burrows, I think, it flourishes in the wing back role.
But if we do that, why do you bring Ogbenny in when we've got Sariki to play there?
Yeah, why do you bring Barry in it first? Why bring Chong in, who's a winger predominantly? Yeah. So I don't think he's planning on doing it. But let's get to
do you think these are his players? Do you think these are Selles' players?
Well, that's what Brett asked originally, I think.
I don't think they are.
No, I don't. I think they are quality players that he is being given rather than...
I mean... We were brought in. We're going to play this. We're going to do this
vertical football, vertical attacking football.
And we're bringing me and Ings and people like that. And you think, oh yeah, all right then.
Yeah, turned the nose up at Jimmy Dunn and Harry Darling, and on last day we're bringing in McGuinness and me.
I know.
So yeah. Anyway, that's by the by. Brett, the positive Keith. Super chat, thank you, pal. Says great to see Jimmy and Andy partnership. He'll tell you it's the Andy and Jimmy partnership. Here's a few pence for Andy the Blade's first pint at Triple Point. What? Thank you, mate. What would you think
Thank you, Brett.
What would you think of Carrick as manager and Michael Zorc or Paul Mitchell, a Lee Edridge shout, as sporting director? I don't know anything about Michael Zorc. Paul Mitchell.
He was a scout, wasn't he?
No, not that Paul Mitchell. It's Paul. I think he's formerly of Man U. I might be wrong. I'm not au fait with the behind the scenes executive names more often than not. We definitely need a director of football of some sort or a sporting director, somebody that can be the bridge between the board, the strategy, and the manager. Because at the minute it's
this is so haphazard. I mean, we've got some good players, but it's so haphazard.
Yeah, agreed. So, sorry. Carrick, though, Dad, in terms of Brett's?
He's not somebody who excites me, I've got to say, Carrick.
Okay. Tommy Denton, thank you, pal. Says, hey, Jim and Papa Blade. Jimmy, this £5 is for...
I'm not a Smurf.
This £5 is for Papa Blade. I send you enough. So, yes, you do, mate, and I'm very grateful for it. But he's got plenty of money. Don't you worry about that. So question, do you both
More
see...
is always welcome.
Do you both see Arblaster coming back the same player up the Ramble, up the Blades?
Fingers crossed.
You can never tell, can you? You can never tell. But
I mean, we haven't put him in any of these teams, have we? We're supposed to be coming back this season.
Well, I have. I put him in my squad. My squad assessment as him in. I've got that coming up on Thursday.
I mean, what do we do about the 25? Do you put him in the 25?
Blaster. Absolutely right. You do. Yeah. He'll be back in. He'll be back in a month, 6 weeks, I think. I don't know. That's a guess.
ITK.
No, yeah, no. Don't tie me with that brush.
ITK. I'm going to call you ITK, Jim.
Honestly, don't set that touch paper. Looks like Jackie Longthrow is off to Brum. Says Hatchie. It certainly does. He signed for him yesterday. I don't know whether that was one that came through late from yesterday's stream, but right. Let's get to some more from tonight. Ray says, yes, I agree. He's got the tools. He has to deliver, not play them out of position. Some good signings. Pull your finger out, Ruben. No excuses. Scott says, Leverkusen have sacked Eric Ten Hag after 2 games. Is that right? Were it 2 games all he got?
Correct.
They clearly have the stones to do something quickly when it's not working.
Cammy got sacked after about 10 games at Stoke.
That was because, didn't he start? It was one of them where he started top at league. He won first 2 or 3. And then slid down.
No, I never got.
That was Bradford. That when he got sacked at Bradford, weren't it?
Yeah, I mean, he was there 2 years at Bradford.
I know, but it was that's when Richmond sacked him because he just got promoted. It was ridiculous. Don't get me started about Jeffrey Richmond. Bryce says Burnley fan.
What you're talking about, Jim? Just let me just clarify that. The first season at Bradford with Cammy, we got promoted at Wembley.
Yes,
right when we beat Notts County. The second season.
Started really well.
No, I think we had another season and stayed up, I'm pretty sure. And the season after, we started really well and then slipped down to nearly relegation. We didn't get relegated. But what we're saying, if we'd have started poorly and finished mid-table, we'd have been all right.
That's right, yeah. I remember that. And then Joel came in, didn't he, after that and a few other bits. So Brian says, Burnley fan here, Jimmy. Sack Sayers, get Dyche. He will get you promoted this season. It will make you very hard to beat. And he's great at Championship level. He's even good at Premier League level. Yeah,
Brian Snowden, I agree with you, mate.
Absolutely right. Mark Meldrew says, do you think Gus would be better in the middle with Samari and Matos at the side of him? Personally, I think in the 10 or off the left.
Absolutely, Mark.
That's your team, isn't it, Dad? You've just said that.
Exactly what I've put is in my team is for Matos and Samari to be the defensive and just let Eamonn have a free roll. But I've got to listen. Eamon's got to take some blame for this. Eamon's give the ball away so many times this season, and without creating an awful lot of goals. He scored that wonder goal at Birmingham, but I mean, I think he hasn't hardly done anything. We're talking about not creating any goals for poor Campbell up front, but Eamon's not done anything. Hasn't created anything. It's not like he's laid them on for him and he's missed them. No,
I think it's.
What has Eamonn done this? Think about it. Listen, I am
scored from halfway line.
I am having a go at Eamonn, but I love Eamonn, and I don't. Obviously, he's one of the best players we know from last year and before that he's one of the best players in the league. But this season, can you tell me anything that is? Can you remember him going past the player and playing somebody in? Or
I think ultimately
he's done hardly anything.
Ultimately, he is certainly best used in the final third, isn't it? And the fact that a lot of us thought
we keep saying this, so he hasn't done it.
Yeah, but a lot of us thought that he was being wasted slightly, or certainly not getting the best out of him on the left. But just because he was such a good player, he made it work. So we wanted him more central, ideally in the 10, but let's have him in the 8. And a lot of us were calling for that as well. It's not worked in the 8. He's further back.
Fit him in somewhere.
He's further back. He's not able to influence things on goal as much. It's dropping him deeper, which makes me nervous whenever he's deep because he's not.
I want him just behind bloody.
Exactly.
Ings.
That's the one, isn't it?
I want him sliding in them little passes right side at bloody centre backs.
He's the 10.
Centre backs and then just sliding them in.
He's the 10, but then you're sacrificing Callum O'Hare, and I think that's a big decision to do. And I'm not saying it's the wrong one. I'm just saying that's the big decision that needs to be made.
Well, you know what Callum O'Hare is, don't you? He's a finisher.
Fire. Cooler King, we are miles behind on comments, by the way, so I'll only be able to take a few. I do apologise. Cooler King says, Sayers has had half-decent record at struggling sides, but has no experience whatsoever of assembling a promotion squad and delivering it. He's being asked to do something he's never done. It's an odd choice. Yeah, agree. Evening chap, says Dave the Nose. Any free agents you guys fancy us looking at? Hopefully a new manager in there as well. This experiment has been hopeless. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. I've got one if you don't want to go yet.
Yeah, go on then.
Jamal Lewis, left back. I'm not sweet on Sam McCallum as a backup. I know there's a few of us that have talked about it on channel previously. I think Burrows has struggled this season as well, and I'm hoping now that somebody because we've seen from Burrows that he can be quality at this level. I'm hoping somebody like Ben Mee, who I thought he performed really well alongside Suter. I think somebody else who can talk to him, get him knowing when to go, what not to do, like we've talked about. I'm hoping Burrows comes on, but I'm really not filled with any confidence when McCallum then comes in for him. And we're talking about the strength in depth. I think Jamal Lewis, who was, and I think he was another one at Norwich, left back.
He was.
When Max Aarons were at right back and he were at left back. Went to Newcastle, didn't really get a sniff. And now a free agent, I think he'd do a job for us in a position where I think has gone from one of our stronger positions to now being one of our weaker positions because of how we strengthened this window. So that's one for me. I don't know if you have any other thoughts, Dad, that jump out. Look, I'll chuck a name at you if you can't think of any, because I know there's one that has done the rounds for you previously.
Go on then.
Big Pat. You like Big Pat, don't you?
Pat
Bamford.
Patrick Bamford.
You like Patrick Bamford, don't you?
I've always said there's a player in there. I don't like him. I don't like his attitude.
I know that. I meant as a player.
Whenever you hear him interviewed, he's a nice bloke. Do you know what I mean? But I hate the way, he went through
the housery.
The housery when he's throwing himself down on the floor.
Hate that.
Definitely think there's a player in there. But will we pay him the money that he wants? No, I don't think so.
I don't think
we needed a Richard Corney, mate. We needed the elephant in the room, Tom Cannon. I don't know what we're going to do with him. While we've got Tom Cannon, he's our third striker, isn't he? So we're not going to get a striker. We're not going to get another striker while the Cannon's here.
Get off his case.
I'm not on his case. I wish, but I don't. I don't see when we're going to play him now. If we play one up front, we play Ings or we'll play Campbell. When's Cannon going to get on? He'd have to come on in 80th minute and score 3.
Lee says,
I'm just being silly now.
I know, yeah. Pecker's been the biggest loser because of this formation or style that Sayers has employed. Being asked to hold midfield and protect the 2 centre-backs while everyone else goes forward is ridiculous.
Lee, you're right. You're right, mate. And that's not his fault, and it has done him. But I do think, even towards the end of last season, I thought it was time for him to sort of I thought he was fading a little bit, and I thought, He needs a break. He needs a bit of a rest, and he didn't get one. I mean, if we could have kept any of his midfielders like Tom Davies, who's made of chocolate, he could have given him a rest, give him a bit of a break, and played there. But no.
David says
we never even speak about Shackleton. What's happening there?
I've got him in my squad depth assessment, so we'll have to see what.
It'll be good.
I know. David says Rossini. I'm pretty sure he's turned down Premier League clubs. David, he's doing really well in France. I don't think he's part of the City group. I think in terms of that club project, I think he'll be looking higher than Sheffield United. I think Liam Rossini is out of reach now, to be honest. Cowboy Paul Young says, "Good to see you, ATB. Hope you're keeping well."
I am, mate, and you'll be pleased to know I'm off to see the Houston Texans in October.
You certainly are.
Your team.
Say hi to Cammy, and I hope he's doing well. Misses Smile and Laugh on Saturday morning TV. How is Cammy, Dad? Have you seen him recently?
No, he's been working away, and he's been on holiday in Tenerife, so I haven't seen much of him. I spoke to him briefly, and I'm due to see him, I think, next week, sometime.
Trusty Rufus says Godfrey not being close to his man is harsh. The entire team aren't close to any of the men up the Ramble. No, I think it's a joke that none of the team have got anywhere near the opposition, to be honest, which is probably fair. Lewis agrees with Brian because he's saying Gus will keep the armband. Gus is my captain, says Lewis. Delighted with Ben Mee signing, but Gus has been at the club a while and can do the job. I disagree.
Me's captain.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't look. If you're putting it on Gus, you're putting it on Gus because you recognise he's the best player at the club. I think you can give him.
You do that. I mean, you do that, and you can give it best player at the club. But that's only because you've got nobody else. Then
that's right. I agree. He's not the vocal leader that you want. He's your maverick that just picks it up and pulls a moment of magic out of nowhere. But
he's a great example anyway. Bloody kicks people and bloody just gets a booking every week. Just because he fancies one.
Maybe, Dad, to be fair, maybe we're just a bit old school in that mentality, though. It might just be we want somebody like a Ben Mee who's an old school captain.
Old school? How dare you?
No, but you've every right to be. But I like a traditional captain who will. You want him to be the one to go. You want Ben Mee to be the one to go up and talk to the referees during games and stuff like that, don't you? And sort of calm situations down and sort of just, I don't know, be the sort of figurehead because he's been there and done it.
I can't see any other reason. Why would you give it just because he's the best player?
To try and keep him, I suppose.
It's like saying, because you've been the best player in that team, you're going to be a manager now, and you're going to be a really good manager. They're completely two different jobs. Just because you're a best player in the team, don't mean you're going to be a good captain as well. It don't work like that.
Mark Meldrew giving you heaps of praise here, Dad. Can see why you call it talking sense with Andy the Blade. Agree with absolutely everything he said.
Oh, Mark Meldrew, good lad.
Paul says, evening Jimmy and Andy, Ramble royalty. For me, Tanganga, Ings and Mee are our best signings in that order. The others might show promise. We'll have to wait and see. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles, like and subscribe. I would agree with that being a top 3. You can probably rotate the order.
I agree. I agree with that order. Paul. But the only caveat is obviously me and Ings are getting on, so you've just got to weigh that into consideration. But then, would we have got Ings paying him 125 grand a week? I'm spending 16 million on him or whatever. That he'd have never come, would he? He wouldn't have come then.
Yeah, so true.
It's a trade-off.
David says
we get them when they just sort of. We've got to we either get the players. We've got to admit that we're one of them teams. I hate admitting it because we all want to be Barcelona or bloody Liverpool or somebody, but we either get the players, the top players, when they're coming through like an Illiman and Die, and then they go, or we get them when they're coming down. You know, like we got McGoldrick, or we're getting Ings or people like that. So if they're in the total prime, even going back to Tony Curry, we had him for a long time, and he did great for us, but he went to Leeds. You know, when he were in his prime, he went to Leeds. Yeah.
Yes, he did. He did. I was stuck. You'd done me on Illiman and Die. I was like, oh, those were the days. Only just recently as well. But David,
the only other way we can get these top. This is why I'm slightly disappointed with the loans, is because the only way now, and this applies to a lot of Championship clubs. I mean, Leeds are doing the very, very best to try and get out of that, you know, by spending a lot of money. But, you know, talking about your Sunderlands and your Leicesters and your Ipswiches and us and all these. Only way we can get really top class players by on loans from, you know, and hopefully, you know, we'll get a Morgan Gibbs-White, or we'll get a Dean Henderson, or we'll get somebody like that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. David says, good point, Andy the Blade. I'm not sure Arblaster makes the 25. There's no guarantee he's going to be back and firing, so why waste a spot this side of the year? I disagree. You've got to include Arblaster in your 25.
Right. Funnily enough, when I was doing that, when I was adding the 25 up, and we've got about 28, 29 players if you include like your Marshes and all.
Yeah, but under 21s don't count, do they?
Right. Also, can you change it? Can you change the 25 in the season?
In January, I think, yeah, you can reset it because you obviously for the transfer.
That might be the way to do it, and then, you know, put him in.
Absolutely ludicrous shout to leave Arblaster out.
Well, it depends on when he's fit.
He's arguably our best centre midfielder. Probably not even arguably. He is our best centre midfielder. And
I agree. Well, when's he going to be fit?
Well, but what if he's fit for the start of November? Or even mid-November. You're sitting him out for 6 games because you'd rather have a spot for Shackleton because he's fit.
No, I wouldn't.
No, I know you won't. But, you know, no.
You'd have to
make
play,
a spot.
Well, obviously, we need to find out when he's going to be ready, don't we? Or when
you make a spot for Arblaster. You make a spot for Arblaster.
We'll make a spot for Suter then for when we buy him.
Get Cammy on the channel.
Then we'll have 12 centre-backs.
Get Cammy on the channel, says James. He said he'll come on, to be fair, hasn't he, a few times?
Yeah, he did.
So, yeah, we'll try and get that sorted out. I want my dad on stream, though, as well, because obviously it's... You have... As much as... I know Chris well, and I understand that, but the stories you've got together, I think, is where the tales are.
I'm not telling any of them.
No. Well, he's already... Yeah, well, he's already told me a few bits, like, but... So, let's have a look. Paul says, Gus is too unpredictable to be captain. Ben Mee is the one for me. Bobby says, agree with Callum O'Hare being a finisher. Come on against tired legs. Yeah, I think so. Bobby's been quite vocal in Platinum Group in terms of he doesn't particularly rate Callum O'Hare as highly as others. But I think when he was subbed by Chris Wilder at back end of last year and he came on, it really looked like he had a bit between his teeth. I'm not saying you have to sub him or he has to be a super sub.
No,
I think
I totally agree. Yeah.
He looked so motivated by that he thought he played really well and forced his way into the conversation of why on earth is Wilder dropping him, didn't he? That were the talk.
Some players are like that. I mean, when he plays all game, he's too much of a flicker and a fannier for me, to be honest. All game, it's like. And I used to see him at Coventry. I'm sure he was much more direct than he is now. I do like his energy. I do like the way he puts himself about, but you know, he's
shot shy, isn't he?
An awful lot. Eh?
He's shot shy.
There's not a lot of any product with him.
No, I agree.
I do like him.
Bright doing us a solid.
Nobody's been great this year. Nobody's been great, so I'm not.
No, they haven't. Please share, like, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Bright. Never mind the rest. You're with the best. Blades Ramble. Nice. Mark Meldrew, again, I know he's had a few comments read out tonight, but he's keen to hear from you, Dad. Question for Andy the Blade, and I've had a chat with my mate about it. Danny Ings, higher or lower than 8 goals this season?
Depends on how many games he plays.
No, I know it does. Clearly it does. Clearly that depends. But if he plays two-thirds of the games, he will score more than 8 goals. That's not the question. What you have got to think about is he going to be good enough to force his way into this side? And then you can answer the question, can't you? It's a yes.
Well, I'll say yes then. I'll say yes.
So you think he gets? Wow. Okay.
I think he gets more than 8. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you know something. He just showed you. He came on, didn't he, against Middlesbrough?
Yeah.
The first thing he did, he sort of like made a bit of space from an edge at box and put a great shot in.
Yeah, shot that had to be deflected wide.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, Campbell's been on for 3 games and he's done no like that. And
don't.
Cannon's been on for the last 12 games and never even seen a sniff.
Can't do that front right wing.
Right. Anyway, no, I'm not. I don't want to call others by saying I am, but I'm just saying, like I said with Moore, you can affect a game even if you're not getting the service that you would hope to do.
Yeah, so that's fair. Bryce says, "Are you gonna tell Nils his new name is now called Matty?" I'm sure that he'll still be referred to as Matty. I'm sure. Alessandro says, "Squad looks much better after deadline day. Look at the 11s we're making now and the bench options. Also, it does look like it's a 25-man group built for another manager if he does come in. So Dyche." I think, to be honest, Dad, and we'll wrap it up now because we've been going on a lot longer than we intended to. But and thank you to everybody for all your comments. I'm sorry I couldn't get through them all. I just love listening to what my dad has to say about stuff because we genuinely haven't had chance to dissect it together yet, have we? So
we haven't spoken, have we, for a bit?
No, because we've both been away. But I feel like there's a quiet calm in the fan base now because we've had such a good window, knowing that things can't continue as they are, because if they do continue this way, we will change the manager. And if we change the manager, I think there's a lot of optimism then that the club will pick up and go again, because the squad is way too good to not have a point on the board at this stage. So I feel like there's a we're all very disappointed with how the season has gone. But I think there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel because of the positive business that we've done. And it's going to change one way or the other. And that's with Sayers or without him. So he could go and turn Ipswich over. And even if it's a smash and grab 1-0, buys himself some time, builds a bit of confidence into players. And lo and behold, we beat Charlton at home next game. And we might be off to races then with something that might have a chance. I don't think it'll happen personally, but either way, something will change, because if he gets beat at Ipswich and then we go 1-0 down at Charlton, there will be baying for blood in that cop. And I think it will change very quickly after that, if that's the case. So it feels inevitable that change will happen now at United. For me, that's my impression. And I think that sort of allows for a little bit more optimism at the club. I don't know how you're feeling about the situation overall, Dad, in terms of that, but it can't, that old Mick McCarthy thing, can't get any worse, can it? It can. But it can't, though, can it?
Yeah.
As in terms of results.
Well, no, it's been a horrible. It's toxic, isn't it? United at the moment, or it has been. It was after the Middlesbrough game. But no, I think. There's a couple of things really. It will get better. It will get better because we've got too good a team now. The problem is how long do we leave it before we change? Because if we leave it much longer, we're gonna, no matter how good a run we go on, we're not gonna get there because we're gonna be too far behind. I think we will go on a run sooner or later, because I think we'll have to do it, because we'll either do it with this manager or we'll do it without him. So I think that'll be the case. But the thing is also, if we go without it, if we do get rid of him, it's who we bring in. I mean, obviously, Dyche is the favourite among a lot of fans, and there's 2 or 3 others who would be acceptable with the fan base. But there's also some, they might bring somebody else completely from left field again.
Who do you think it's most likely to be, Dad? I know you want Dyche as your number one shout. You can see it being somebody like a Gary O'Neill or a Carrick, but who do you think they would? I know they're unpredictable. But do you think there's any chance that they go for a Dyche type figure, or do you think it may be another Danny Rowe?
I can see Danny Rowe coming in, to be honest. But I know I'm hoping that somebody has been listening to the fans, because they've obviously gone away from the transfer targets that obviously they were looking at before. Nobody had heard of, from Bulgaria, and we brought in particular talents who are more
proven
to what we wanted.
Proven at the level.
Yeah, Tanganga and me and Ings and people like that. Even Benny has been a proven in different things. So, because if you think about it, the first few buys were all players that Selles seemed to have worked with before. They were either somebody we didn't know, like these wingers we bought, Nigerian wingers or Bulgarian people, or there were people who
Bindon and Barry,
like Bindon and Barry and people like that. So, but obviously not worked, and so we brought in proven players, even Godfrey to an extent as well. But so
you're not sold on him, are you? You're not sold on Ben
I'm
Godfrey?
I'm not sold on Godfrey, but So I'm hoping that they are listening to, or somewhat, whether it's the owners or whether it's somebody behind the scenes who are listening to what the Blades Ramble say.
Not a chance. Not these days. Right. Okay. Thank you, Father. Very much appreciated for joining us. As always, love doing these streams.
Been a pleasure, Jimmy.
Anything else you want to cover while we're on together?
No, I don't think so.
No, there isn't. Right. No. Right. Thank you, everybody. Very much appreciated. Come on, you red and.
Are you sure?
Come on, you red and white wizards.
Hope they're playing.
Hey. Nice one, Dad. Thank you for that.